Hello, this is Berzinsky for Beardbrand. We're going to continue our conversation about the 5 classic mustache shapes. We already did the Imperial, and today I want to talk to you about the Hungarian and the Walrus. Previously we talked about the Imperial, which if you remember was a very stylized mustache that tended to go straight out, possibly swung up slightly like the dolly, and not to be confused with the English or the handlebar. I've done other tutorials on the handlebar, so we're probably not going to hit that right now. But the other 2 that are important, and 2 that I sport quite often, are the Walrus, ta-da, and the Hungarian. The Hungarian is probably one of my go-to mustaches, as it is a styled mustache, but not as stylized as, say, the handlebar. But the Walrus is something that is pretty natural to most guys who have a pretty big mustache and happens pretty naturally. In my case, it takes a little finagling to get it into a true shape, and that has a lot to do with my growth pattern on my mustache. This side of my hair, as I've talked about before, grows pretty much straight down, and this side tends to curl this way considerably, and so I actually have to push it over this way to get it in a more even pattern. The Walrus is pretty much a natural mustache. It's any shape that's below, any size mustache that's typically growing over the lip. So if it's above the lip, that's pretty much a natural mustache. Just think Tom Selleck. But the minute it starts growing over the lip, and in my case, covering even the lower lip, you have the possibility of sporting, a walrus mustache, deriving its name from this guy. This is a very easy mustache to style. Pretty much you can let it go in most cases. If you have a fairly normal growth pattern, you can just let it go. If you want to blow more shape into it or control a little bit of wave to it, you can do that with a round brush and a dryer, and I'll show you that very quickly. But the Walrus has probably the most challenges of all. There might be challenges related to styling in the Imperial and the English, the handlebar, even the Hungarian, to get those curls ever so perfect, ever so symmetrical. But with the Walrus comes the big obstacle, or the big challenge, would be eating. So without further ado, this is something I will never do. I'm not going to drink a full glass of milk or anything without the aid of a super straw. And that's something I've talked about before. I use a straw for most fluids. Love milk. Anyhow, straw is my friend. I basically don't have dinner, don't have breakfast, don't have lunch without it, and use it for all liquids. Anyhow, everything gets in your mustache when it's this length. So if you're going to sport a Walrus, which is easy to prepare, easy to present, but hard to maintain, when it comes to eating, just be prepared for the challenges of drinking and the challenges of getting food in your mustache. It's inevitably going to happen. So styling this, typically what I do, this side grows pretty natural. And what I'll do with the hairdryer is just roll this under and pulling it down. Just roll it under, hitting it with hairdryer, cooling it off, pulling it down. This side, because it has tendency to even want to roll this way, I do the same thing, roll it under, pull it down, roll it under, pull it down, and then just comb it free. The Walrus. So, comment below. I think a lot of guys wear natural Walrus. They just let their mustaches go for lack of wanting to do the necessary grooming to get a handlebar. But I like wearing a Walrus because it, like with the sweater, it goes sea captain pretty fast. And it's definitely a stylish look when it's kept neat. If you just let your mustache and beard grow, no one's going to think you're the most stylish guy on earth. With a little care, and this doesn't take much. I mean, I could walk out the door in less than 30 seconds grooming a Walrus mustache. Building on the Walrus mustache is the Hungarian. And the difference here is that the Hungarian is a big flopping over mustache with a little bit of separation, but then ending in a very low slung curl. So unlike the handlebar, which would tend to be up here, the dolly even higher, the Hungarian is going to stay low and curl up. I'm going to show you how to do that by just taking the Walrus and with the aid of my round brush, still waiting for that signature line from Beardbrand. Anyhow, I'm going to take my round brush and just roll up the sides and show you how I get the Hungarian. So I'm just going to take a little sea salt spray. You could use water. I always like a little texture, and just going to wet this a little bit. Doesn't take too much. This is my Beardbrand mustache comb. So with round brush and hair dryer, what I'm going to do is roll this under while pulling it to the side. Once I get it to the side, I'm going to take the curl, and the curl on my hair is associated with the lip, the edge of the lip, the mustache. I'm not engaging any other hairs. Talked about before, if you want a more impressive, a larger size, or if you're lacking a little size, you can dig down, grab a bit of your beard hair, and pull that into that, especially with a Hungarian. With a Hungarian, you could actually take a considerable amount of this lower hair, pulling that in, to make a more impressive curl. So I'm going to roll the hair up on the end. I heat the hair medium to high heat, and then I cool it down with the cool button on my hairdryer. If you don't have a cool button, just let your brush cool off a little bit before pulling it out. And then you can see that you have a curl formed. Do the other side. There, so you can leave this natural with the sea salt spray. I've got a bit of hold in here, and I could be good to go. Separating this. Very natural, low slung Hungarian, no fuss, easy. Parting it in the middle bit, this will be a little bit easier to deal with when it comes to drinking, but I'm still going to use a straw. But if you want to add just a little control, what I can do, you can add wax, but this is not that kind of mustache for me. I'll take a tiny bit of styling balm, just very tiny bit, and put that through the mustache. Pulling the curl down into the side. And that's it for the Hungarian, but you can pull this up out of your lip if you want, or let it somewhat walrus-like and pull the curls down to the side. I like a lot of definition, so pulling this away from my regular beard, I get a lot of separation anyhow because of the color difference, the salt and pepper in my mustache against the white of the beard. But like I said before, this is a style that I go to pretty often because once again, it does not take a lot of time. Has a much more relaxed feel. The Walrus, the most relaxed. Hungarian like this, second most. So comment below, tell us how you're styling your mustache these days and what your favorite mustache style is. And until we meet again, beard on.
Beardbrand is a premium men's grooming company with products not only for your beard, but also your hair and body. Do yourself a favor and head over to beardbrand.com and take care of yourself. Or you can stick around and watch a few more of our awesome videos.